The structure of this country is inherently racist, so therefore, we're not standing for that. We're protesting the system.
I would totally join that movement or something, but I feel like there are people who'd say it's not your place to speak about it.
A lot of people, like to dance around the issue when we have innocent people dying at the hands of police.
They've done more to divide our country by almost being more racist or creating more racism.
In these black and brown communities, these are the areas that really need $15 the most. The minimum wage is not asking too much. It is saying we just need enough money to survive. And I don't see how that's too much to ask.
Hi there, I'm David Chang. And I'm Vince Lattanzio, and we're the Battleground brothers. Today we're at Temple University, and we're talking to students about social justice.
Treatment of minorities is the second most important issue to millennials this election. The Pew Research Center found 74% of registered millennial voters said that social justice issues like police brutality and minimum wage are very important in determining their vote for president.
So we're right outside the Tyler School of Art in front of a very controversial installation.
It's a pop-up art piece made by Temple Tyler School of Art graduate student Kara Springer, a Canadian visual artist.
We figured it'd be a great place to start a conversation. We're standing right next to this pretty controversial piece of art. As far as the message behind it, what does it mean to you?
The first thing I think of is the whole Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter movement. A lot of people, like to dance around the issue and like to, push it to the side like it's not a problem when we have innocent people dying at the hands of police.
The treatment of minorities is a very important issue. Do you see that reflected here?
There's some parts of the campus life that's still very segregated. Black Temple hangs out with Black Temple, White Temple hangs out with White Temple. When I came into Temple, the slogan was Diversity University. And then you're walking through campus and you're like, where's the diversity?
Of the 28,000 undergrads at Temple, 13% identify as Black and 6% Hispanic, the Black and brown communities that are at the center of social justice movements across the United States.
The Black community, which is generally very small here at Temple, we are very passionate about social justice, the incidents that have happened with police brutality. We speak out every chance we get, but I feel like overall Temple as an institution, in the community at large, I feel like it's it's kind of not hush-hush like nobody, but it's like no one is talking about it. Right. So to me, that's a sense of like, you don't care enough.
So being a Black woman on campus, what has that been like, especially in the midst of so much divisiveness, so much tension going on in the country?
I mean, by no means am I a spokesperson
right.
for all Black women.
I'm just talking about your own experience. Yeah.
Socially, I guess you would say I'm Black and I'm a woman, so that within itself is already very problematic. But in the sense that I don't have that much power, so to speak. But I would like to think, there's power within the individual. Any chance that you have to educate someone else, speak to someone else, just have a conversation just concerning the police brutality and everything that's been going on lately. Silence is a form of consent. To me, if you're not saying anything, you're okay with that, and that is very problematic. So often, a lot of the events that happen lately around police brutality, people think it only affects a certain community, so Black people can only feel a certain way about it, but it's like, no, you're able to do something even if it's as small as starting a conversation.
Temple's Black Student Union has been making more overt efforts to start conversations. The BSU staged a protest over police brutality at Temple's homecoming football game, sitting down as the national anthem was performed. ASHLEI Gentry is the group's president.
That song is inherently racist. The structure of this country is inherently racist, so therefore, we're not standing for that.
What was the reaction like when you guys did it?
At first, before when we came out with our statement and before we actually sat down, nothing but positive feedback. After we did it and we posted the video, and then you all posted the video, nothing but negative feedback.
From students or from other people?
It was like mostly older white people.
Craziest comments you saw?
Go back to Africa and swing from trees. I hear the weather's nice in Somalia. They would think we should get our financial aid taken away from us since we don't want to stand for the flag. Like a few students maybe had like negative comments, like what's this really going to do? I would leave that organization.
Discussing these topics is difficult, and some students don't feel it's their place to open up.
I would totally join that movement or something, but I feel like there are people who'd say it's not your place to speak about it. So I think it's a little bit confusing.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, I feel like I've experienced it a little bit.
I understand what he's saying and stuff. Like I've had people be like that too and stuff. I don't know. Saying it like you're not really like. I mean, yeah, like we have a say, but we also aren't like directly affected, I guess, by everything that's happening because I'm not.
Do you almost feel like excluded from that conversation?
Yeah, kind of in a way. I still know what's happening. I still like want to try and do something. If there's something that I can do, I want to do it. It's not that time for me right now.
You're afraid you might say something wrong?
I totally think I'm gonna say something wrong easily. That's like with me for everything. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it is with PC culture. You know, when you have culture like that steeped in that kind of almost voluntary censorship, almost in a way. I mean, I don't know.
Does that hinder the movements, you feel?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, our country is more divided than it has been in a very, very long time.
Adam Krisner is vice chairman of the Temple College Republicans and a Donald Trump supporter.
What is the college Republicans' stance on some of the movements like Black Lives Matter?
They've done more to divide our country by, you know, almost being more racist or creating more racism. What Hillary Clinton does and what the Democrats like to do is they like to pit one group against another. They like to say the black Americans are being oppressed by the white Americans. Well, they might feel that way, but the truth of the fact of the matter is that that's not going to do anything. That's only going to create more and more anti-sentiment towards each other. Donald Trump has actually been the only candidate, in our opinion, that has spoken in terms that unite our country. You know, he's talking in terms of all Americans.
Honestly, I don't want to tell people not to vote for Donald Trump. However, I'm completely against Donald Trump. Stop and frisk is a very unconstitutional thing, and it obviously like racially profiles African Americans, but that's what he's like advocating for. I cannot fathom his presidency. Hillary Clinton, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know what we're gonna do, to be honest. I don't know who we're gonna vote for.
What do we want? 15! When do we want it? Now!
A different group of students is hoping Temple can lead the way in prompting change for another hotly debated social issue, the minimum wage. Philip Gregory is with 15 Now, a student group pushing to make the minimum wage $15 for everyone who works at Temple, student workers, food service, security, and more.
We believe that if we can get that and achieve that goal here at Temple, we can influence the city and then at large the state to raise the minimum wage for all workers across the board.
How important in the level between, let's say, relations with police and the shooting of Black and Latino men, where does income inequality fit into that?
Oh, they're all on the same level because they're all interconnected. They all affect each other. Because the stereotypes which are created and then propagated because of the income inequality in these Black and brown neighborhoods, these are the areas that really need $15 the most. The minimum wage is not asking too much. It is saying we just need enough money to survive. And I don't see how that's too much to ask.
Do you feel like either of the candidates has a plan that will help raise that minimum wage up to that $15?
Well, we know one certainly doesn't. And I feel as though there's no necessity in talking about him. Looking at Hillary Clinton, who actually does now support a $15 minimum wage, while it is nice to see a candidate up there with that, with the $15 on her platform, it is uncomforting because A, we don't know what she's going to do. We don't know how much she's actually going to work for it. Clinton has flip-flopped on issues like marriage equality and race in America, from saying that Black people were super predators. We see that she's not consistent. And in that inconsistency, there's mistrust.
What does this mean for the election? Again, many young people are unsure of who to vote for on Election Day, with a number of Democrats missing Bernie Sanders. Jordan Laslett is on the executive board of the Temple College Democrats.
Millennials are notoriously stubborn. You know, honestly, I think it's a great quality. You know, we know the issues we want, whether they're single issues, whether there's a multitude of issues. You know, millennial voters aren't just going to give away, you know, a vote because someone said so.
Are you worried about turnout right now, just based on what you've seen?
I'm not worried about turnout. I'm worried about protest voting. Pretty much voting for a third-party candidate out of spite of the two candidates, and that could not be a worse idea because this election is going to determine Supreme Court justices. I'm really trying to convince people, like, listen, you don't have to like Secretary Clinton, you know, but at least understand what her platform is, understand what she backs.
Millennials, we do a really good job of talking, like on social media. We are very opinionated, and that which I love, you know. And so if that could just translate into actual action, that would be amazing. I think so often, like, people are just like, oh, my vote doesn't matter. Like, on one part, your vote does matter. So I don't know, I think millennials, hopefully, you know, we can put some action behind all of our talk.
So what did we learn? The social justice movement is loud at Temple, but not all students feel they can take part in the conversation.
Next time, we're talking about climate change at Widener University and here at Temple.
For NBC10.com, I'm David Chang.
And I'm Vince Lattanzio.